That connects, we can turn it on. There we go. We'll open up. Go live. You're live. Okay. Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, and we're back in ATS hanging out. We're checking out a truck mod, and the link to where to get the mod is down in the description below. It's Ford LTL 9000, one of my favorite looking trucks in the world. And finally got the console enabled so I can change the time. So maybe we won't be driving in the dark all the time now. So that's cool. We're at a service station. We're going to go in there and check out some of the things you can change on the truck. Some of the customizations and things. I also have a sound mod from Z-Mods. Because I got the truck and the in-game engine files didn't seem to be loading, so there was no sound in the truck. So I got the Z-Mod Cummins, a couple of Cummins engine pack sounds. So those are now in there. Both of them are, all of those are paid mods, the truck and the engine sounds. I got the truck on sale for 20 bucks, so I think it's usually 40. I think all of his mods are 40 bucks, at least his truck mods. So check the link down below. That'll take you to the mod author's webpage where you can get them directly from him. So let's shrink me here. There we go. And get in the game. Alright, the fly cam's a bit twitchy, and this is the first time using it outside the truck. So forgive me on that. So let's go ahead and we'll get in the truck. We'll check out the interior here while we're out in the rain. My only issue with it is the steering wheel's a little off center, but the models itself all look good. That's a real classic old school CB radio. I got the fire extinguisher on the floor, got a bag on the seat, and he actually has some spots underneath the sleeper bed bunk. You can put some stuff too. All in all, pretty good looking truck. So we'll go ahead and get in here and check out all you can do to the truck. So I'm running the flat top. You got a day cab. Go Aerodyne or a studio sleeper. Like I said, running the flat top. And the wheels are from a couple of mods you can get on Steam. These are Alcoas. So you can do chassis stretch or just a long, which is what I'm running. Engines. It does have any engine packs you have off of Steam or mods. It seems to run all of those. The Z-Mods are, they have some tuning to them, but he also goes out and records trucks. Not, like, I'm not sure how he does it, but he actually goes out to a physical truck and records its engine, records the turbo, records the exhaust. And since I am a fan of the Cummins, we're running the 700 horsepower X15. Transmissions, the truck comes with a lot of transmissions, 10 speeds, 13 speeds, 18 speeds. Looks like we got a 7-speed Allison, 10-speed Allison, 6-speed Allison, so kind of however you want to set that up. You got modern or vintage. I kind of like the modern myself. Of course, it lets you run pretty much any custom color you want, and then it comes in a variety of other factory colors. Tons of accessories, several different bug shields, I'm not a fan of bug shields, so I don't run them. But you can put a winter front on it if you want. Different colors. A few different bumpers. Kind of wish it would actually show you a little preview image. But we're running the bull bar. Actually, let's go to a different bumper here for a minute. I'm not sure what the guard does. It just changes the color of the fenders, it looks like. That'll change what your headlights look like. Winter. Have a couple of grills. Stone guard if you want it. Kind of cool. Got a few different sun visors, which apparently you can put lots of lights on if you want. And of course you have your cabin lights, which you can change to whatever you want. If you have LJ's mods, you get a few more variety of them. I actually have, in that spot, I have a strobe light. Oops. Yeah. We're not going to save any changes, so you can change cab panels. You can have tent covers. A few different tank configurations. So you can really get the truck the way you want it to look. Let's see here. So one of these is exhaust, a bunch of exhaust. The aluminum's kind of a neat look. I like rocking the rain caps, but you also need to change the tanks because, as you can see, the pipe goes into the tank depending on what setup you're running. Like I said, I dig those. Come on, give me all the buttons again. You have spoiler. Bam. Flat top. You can put steps on the chassis if you need them or want them. Several fenders to choose from, so I mean, just tons of fenders depending on what you want. You can change up the trailer cables, how they're mounted. I like the good old pogo stick. So that's where we're running. We're gonna go ahead and just exit out of here without changing anything. Okay. I'll find this load here. We're running a set of doubles. Just some grain trailers we painted to match the truck. And we're in Alamosa. So let's go ahead and check out the job market here in Alamosa, see where we can run. Nothing. Anything in Colorado Springs? Oh, Denver. terribly far. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay, a little quick travel just to save us a little time. Or maybe we won't. Did not set it even? There we go. Yeah, maybe we got someplace we can go. The rain's louder than the engine. Flip on our lights and we'll get going. And probably turn off the stick our head out the window a little bit so we can see. The Z-Mod sounds are kind of interesting. And he does say have him turn his sounds up as loud as possible and then set the other game sounds to about half volume. Okay, the lights were on. The dash is just kind of dim. So as I mentioned, this is one of my favorite trucks, kind of all time. I just like the way the LTL 9000 looks. And the Superliner. They got that kind of bigger, fatter hood on them. It'd be cool if the rain caps were animated, but I don't think the game really has an exhaust feature, so that'd probably be hard to animate without having some kind of info. But I just think it's a great looking truck. It's one of my favorites for sure. Driving in the rain. Okay, that then ends bus. Why did you go over there? Well, that was stunningly realistic. Speaking of drives, I got a video going up to Jackson, Wyoming. It got uploaded this morning, so you can check that out. Do so anytime. I tried to get some more driving shots as opposed to just hat cam stuff. There's some time lapse and some regular footage, and it looks like on my monitor my sound's kind of peeking out a little bit, so let's go ahead and fix that. mic volume down just a little bit. That way I'm not getting up into that yellow zone. Okay, that's better. And that'll let you listen to the truck in the rain a little better. But that was a bit of a drive. I left early Friday to head up there. I was out of the yard probably 6:40 and didn't get up to the job site till almost noon. Of course, I had stopped twice to check straps, and then I had to stop at the port of entry. They're in Alpine, Wyoming. And it was a busy port of entry. I've been my third trip up there or through there. Come on, bus. The way they don't know how to merge in the game is really frighteningly accurate to how people don't know how to merge in real life. Artificial stupidity impresses me more than artificial intelligence. And I had expected to run into a lot more camper traffic going up there, but traffic was pleasantly light for as heavy as I was. You kind of have to keep in mind in what I haul. Usually, I mean, even if it's way oversized, it's not really heavy. And we had just a monster floor job. So 28,000 pounds is it's a lot of weight compared to what I normally haul. You figure an average 3 or 4 bedroom house roof pack is right around probably probably 12,000 to about maybe 15, 18 if it's attics. So usually we're running pretty light, even if I am 60, 70 feet long or 12, 13 feet tall. It would be cool if them ram cats just sat there clacking when you were sorry, Magnum. Is there a stoplight there, bus? What are we doing here? Okay, I guess he stopped for the stoplight way back here. You don't have to stop that far back. I mean, I understand you're trying to be polite and let that other truck out maybe, but both waiting for the green light. That's kind of scary how accurate that is. Thanks, bus. We didn't even get through the light thanks to you. A Holiday Inn. And unfortunately, unloading could have went a lot smoother up there. Because they didn't want to use the telehandler, they wanted to use their skid steer. And don't get me wrong, skid steers are pretty handy little machines. But stacked as tall as I was, and the fact skid steers don't have the lifting capacity of a great all, it was a mess. After they got a little uncomfortably close to the cab of the truck with a set of floors, I was like, could you use the great all? You could pick the whole stack up at the same time. And I can scoot over to the middle of the road, and we'd have a lot more room. And it'd save me a lot of time, because Fridays, we either go over to Mom's house for dinner, or Mom comes to our house on payday Friday, and we go out to eat. And my mom's cool. I enjoy having dinner with her. So I really didn't want to stand around for 3 hours getting unloaded, because they weren't really prepared. The job site up there is pretty tight anyways, so can't get in on one side at all. But I told them, I was like, hey, if you move these 3 fence things and didn't have anybody parked here, I could come around the block and back in and just unload them like you're supposed to. Just roll them off the back. But apparently for the 3rd floor, they don't want them where we put them. So I don't know how we're unloading it next time. It said something about a crane, and I'm not really looking forward to that if that is the case. Get the cruise control going. It's hard to tell if the Jake brakes are on or off in this truck. Let's stay on the road. Yeah. This particular, I'm not sure if it's the truck mod or if it's the audio mod, but it seems to have a lot of wind noise. The fan and the CB are option parts. Forgot to mention that. We're running a 13 speed in this truck, as that's kind of my preferred transmission. I've driven a few of them, and even at 80,000, 85,000 pounds, almost 86, they seem to work pretty good. And the only difference between, thanks cruise control. The only difference between an 18 speed and a 13 speed is an 18 speed you can split all the gears, and a 13 speed you're just splitting the upper gears. There's the Jake brakes. Of course, the mirrors are adjustable like all the trucks. 55 for a little bit. Oops. We do get some occasional difficult places to unload at. Of course, the other thing people got to keep in mind with when I say difficult is I'm not unloading at a loading dock or a warehouse. So when we're actually unloading in town, there's not a lot of room because everything's already built. Like St. June's or St. John's, I think it's going to be a clinic, 3-story clinic. It's surrounded by houses. And Jackson doesn't have really wide streets to begin with. So it's always kind of interesting getting into some of those places like that. Okay. I like driving in that position. I like driving from outside. I didn't see how far we had to go to get to where we were going. Looks like 56 miles, so. Then down to 45. So I'll have two more trips up to Jackson to make. I got to take the 3rd floor up and then, of course, the roof. And I'm hoping it's a flat roof and not a standard vault or a roof with a peak. Because flats are guaranteed to not be oversized. Oh, that's a cool statue. I could have swung that a little wider. Yeah, kind of like, I like it when they put those statues and stuff in the game. Adds a lot of life to the game besides having the traffic. Like the kid playing basketball, that's my biggest problem with SnowRunner is, I mean, I can understand why there's no other traffic because all the bridges everywhere are out and everything's flooded. But SnowRunner to me always feels like I mean, people give you missions, but you never see them, so it's almost like you're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and you're the only person who can fix anything. Okay, speed limit's 65, not 30. I mean, we got all day, but we don't have all day. I know I've been up here before, so. Let's see here. We're empty, so we shouldn't have to pull in. Of course. I did film with my hat cam going across the scale. $45,748 is our empty weight. Probably shouldn't start out in 6th. Okay, Schneider, we can't sit here all day. If you're not familiar with my setup, I actually have a TV as a second monitor mounted above my main monitor. So when I look up, I'm actually looking at my OBS software and my YouTube streaming page. Just looking for comments and checking stream health and stuff. And it says everything's green, so excellent condition. In and out. Rubbernecking. The Flying J's got a Dunkin' Donuts. Now we're talking. And I'm still exhausted from yesterday. The previous homeowner just kind of dug a trench around flower beds and filled it with quickcrete. So if you've seen on my Instagram page, we almost filled the back end of the pickup truck with quickcrete chunks. And we got, probably half of it total out of the yard. We still got quite a bit to go. But the couple hours it took us to do what we did was enough to wear us both out. So Should probably actually finish loading the truck up today, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay then. We got a wacky inflatable arm guy over there. I do like that kind of stuff. It's the little details that you might not actually see unless you're sitting at a stop sign that at least it makes the game feel lived in. That we're need to get some more steel picked up so I can work on the trailer. And the grand hauler is right behind me. Need to get a new micro servo. Uh-oh. At least now I'm out of the intersection. New micro servo for the lift axle, and then I can get that permanently mounted in place, and then it'll be time to tidy up the wiring and get all the electronics mounted in their final location in the truck, run the couple of wires out to the back that I need to run servos and trailer functions. It's getting worked on, just kind of slow process. Okay, pickup, you could definitely go ahead. I can't, but you and the next couple vehicles could pull up there to the light. There you go, you figured it out. Or the person behind you was impatient and beeped at you because it wasn't me that beeped the horn. It looks like we're... this light or the next light? I think it's the next intersection. Yep. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Like I said, I worked quite a bit doing yard stuff yesterday, so today just kind of relaxing in the house. Don't really got anywhere to go. I do have a bunch of stuff I could be working on, like finishing the rest of the concrete in the yard, or working on RC trucks. I'm sure if I had gotten on earlier, there was probably a post. I'd imagine some of the guys from the Magic Valley RC Rock Crawlers Club's probably hanging out somewhere, doing some crawling. There we go. Let's see here. We had that grain, 36,000 pounds of grain from Lamar up to Gillette. That's nice. We just gotta pull over here and they'll load us up. The last update, they added more ambient sound effects to the game. They changed some intros to cities. And then they've always had it so like if you had a motion platform, the motion platform would move with the road. But I think they actually have the road animated now, so the truck, when you're driving like external view like I do, you can actually see the truck kind of wiggling around as you go down the road. I just really dig the look of this truck. And I don't mind paying for mods. I know that upsets some people, but it takes a lot of work to put something like this truck together. And since I'm in a place, in a position where I can afford to support mod authors now, I'm certainly going to. I had a LTL 9000 mod from somebody else, but found out that that guy stole it from somebody, and I don't know the whole situation behind it, so I was like, well, now that I know that, I'll not use that mod and try to find the actual truck mod. Which wasn't that easy because I looked it up and finally found somebody else's YouTube video talking about the truck. And that's the only way I found the website to get the truck. There's a Facebook group for it. But the Facebook group you can't see any posts on unless you're a member. And it also doesn't, in the general information of the page, tell you where to get the truck. So it is not on Steam. You have to go to a separate website and actually buy it. However, there are plenty of mod trucks out on Steam that you don't have to pay for. The Max Superliner I have is based on tips. You could pay nothing, or you could give them $1 or $50 or whatever you wanted to pay the guy for the truck mod. You could. Lots of trains today. I did put a hydraulic wet tank on it. And then some fog lights on the bull bar. Or if you're from Australia, rhubarb. Yeah, since we're making a right-hand turn, we should have the right turn signal on. Now that we're loaded, we're heading up to Gillette, Wyoming. 36,000 pounds of grain if you're just tuning in. Kind of caught that curb. But I also didn't want to tag the light with the trailer. Ooh, Denny's. That is a mod on Steam, is real advertisers and businesses. And there also is a mod for real trucking companies and businesses on trailers. Those are all available on Steam. I just don't know if the jakes are working or not. This particular trailer setup I'm running is Rocky Mountain Devils, which aren't allowed in Texas. So that's why we're not still cruising around Texas. And it's been out long enough. Most people have probably seen most of Texas by now. And since I've only hauled flatbed or roll-off trailer, I kind of tend to stay with roll-off or flatbed or the low boys like that trailer. So I thought, Rocky Mountain Devils with some grain, with grain trailers. That's pretty common around where I'm at, and something a little different. Those are, I'm pretty sure those aren't a mod horn sounds. I think those are the truck's actual mod. I should be in this lane. Because they'll probably want to weigh me again. Yep. Ooh, go wide. We're at 82,115 pounds. And we are going to absolutely cut them off. Because they're game. And I don't feel like being polite to game AI. Not much of a road there. We are running a 700 horsepower Cummins engine in this Ford. 13 speed, so we can just motor down the road pretty good. The old cruise control. Stick her in 13th and away we go. So yeah, they added more animations to the truck, kind of going over bumps and stuff, which is really cool. I am playing on an Xbox controller. I don't have a wheel and pedals. Since I drive truck in real life, I don't necessarily feel the need to have that accurate of a gaming setup. I just want to play the game. It just doesn't seem like the Jake brakes in this truck are working. I don't hear them. And doesn't look like the speed's dropping fast enough for them. 287. Must be inspecting their grain. Which would probably pull better if I was in the right gear. Those horses don't look in too big of a hurry to run around that track, do they? I do. I really enjoy those little animations like that. There's actually a guy I seen in, like I was doing some, trying to get some photos in Texas. And there's actually a guy, an animated person standing next to a river fishing. That was neat. I really enjoy this game it's not hard. And I enjoy driving so much that I like playing driving games, even on my time off. Just a good way to pass the time. I mean, there's still progression and unlocking things, so it still has game aspects, but at the same time, it's not a stressful game. Kit Carson. Not sure what was going on there. That's a odd place for a lighthouse, just in the middle of Colorado somewhere. I should probably be nice and let this guy in. Since I didn't pass him. I did see an article because I went to double check something, and SCS Software, who makes this game, had mentioned they were talking to Microsoft and Sony about releasing this game on console, but that article was from 2018. And I'm pretty sure Steam or the SCS's website is the only place you can get the game still. I checked on Xbox, it's still not on Xbox. I don't know if it's not out on console because of the graphics requirements or just because the map is so huge. Even though every in-game mile is equivalent to 20 miles in real life, that's still a long way from, Corpus Christi, Texas up to Yakima, Washington. Apparently, it says it's Monday, but apparently, at the rate we're driving, it's Sunday because we're out for a Sunday drive. And that is, right now, that's my major gripe as a truck driver is, during the summer is, construction's a lot heavier because people are traveling. But you can't get through a construction zone anymore even at the slower construction zone speed limit. Because of all the traffic. And nobody wants to let anybody merge properly. So, you know, highway, you'll go from 80 down to 65 if you're in a car. If you're in a truck, you just go from 70 to 65. Come on, truck. Oh. Well, that was awful uncharacteristically nice of someone. But he just comes down to one lane, and it doesn't matter how far out them signs they place. People stay in that left lane all the way up to the orange cones and then cut you off, so that person slams on their brakes, so now the interstates come to a stop. It takes forever to get moving again. Or if the right lane gets slowed down enough, everybody tries to pass you on the left, and then it just creates a clog right there at the where the left lane ends. It's just super frustrating because, you know, we should be able to roll through a construction zone without having to. Come on, truck. Without having to come to a stop every time. So there's what? There's 3 sections of construction between Jerome and Pocatello. Can't get through any of them without slowing down to 30 almost. Then you get to Pocatello, and that's such a mess right now with all the construction because they're redoing some bridges and they're redoing the 86 I-15 interchange. So yeah, they drop you down all the way to 55 and just crawl through there. I think when I took them floors through there, we went through Pocatello at about 25 mile an hour. Just ridiculously slow. So that's what eats up so much time going up there in a truck. It's just all the road construction. And while we strap the trusses to each other in bunks or piles, whatever you want to call them, and then when we stack so many high, we band all that stuff together. And no matter how tight they band them, the load still shifts enough going down the road that you pretty much have to stop at least once when you're going that far and tighten the straps. So, and I don't pull off on a exit ramp and just hop out of the truck, tighten them, and then just jump right onto the on-ramp. Mainly because there's never really a lot of room to do that, and nobody really slows down when the truck's on the side of the road. Even though you're in a high-vis shirt, people still don't see you. So I prefer pulling off and into a parking lot or a rest area to get my straps tightened. I just feel a lot safer doing it that way. I've had to pull over on the side of the interstate once because the strap just came loose completely. And if I'd waited long enough to go 2 pulls over someplace safe, it would have probably got wrapped underneath the tire. 65, not 50, whatever we're doing. Yeah, people don't want to get over. They don't want to slow down if they can't get over. It's just not really safe to work ahead. To just pull over on the side of the road and fix a strap. But you can definitely tell after Memorial Day, I've been driving with my left blinker on the whole time, that the traffic increases substantially. Because at least before Memorial Day, you could get through construction zone at the construction zone speed limit. Let's see what we want. Northbound Fort Collins. Kind of feel bad for saying it, but I still wish we were in pandemic lockdowns because it made driving a truck so much easier when everybody was stuck at home. I know a lot of people didn't like being stuck at home, but boy, let me tell you, when I haul oversized and there's hardly anybody on the road, it sure makes hauling oversized a lot nicer. Putting in a new scale house on 84. So if you're heading eastbound on 84, it's before 84 splits off to go south, and 86 goes more east over to Pocatello. As it sits right now, I don't have any way stations eastbound to get up to Pocatello or Idaho Falls. And I'm kind of concerned how often I'm going to be pulled in there and they're going to make me pull over to the side and somebody's going to come out with a tape measure. I can cut somebody off. Truck does look so good though. Apparently my cruise control didn't set. Because what most people probably don't know, unless you've actually hauled oversized, that pre-pass thing you can't use when you're oversized. So if the scale house is open and you're over dimensional, you're required to pull in every time. It doesn't matter if you're 2 inches wide or 5 feet wide. And my truck is so heavy that they even pull me in empty. Because they have a scale on the westbound side of 84 now that I used to never have to hit. And the only time I get to bypass it is if they have so many trucks in line already they have to bypass people, or you know, there'd be a line of trucks sitting in the right lane of the interstate not going anywhere, or if they're closed. Which, coming back Friday, I was late enough, they were closed. And you know, I understand they have a job to do, and they're just some random person doing their job. But it really eats up a lot of time to slow down from 70 mile an hour to 10 mile an hour, even to go down the bypass lane. So once they get that eastbound scale house open, plus all the road construction, that's probably looking at adding a half hour to an hour more on my day just to get to where I normally go. Of course, now that I pulled out here, he's going to speed up. Nope. Apparently just a dump truck driver out for a Sunday drive. Not even loaded. And I throw enough straps on my load that anytime I've gone through a port of entry, that's a shitty spot. That most DOT officers pretty much don't hassle me. They, just want to check the truck's registration, insurance. Of course, going in Alpine in Jackson, that's in Wyoming, so they kind of want to know where I'm going. And every time I've been in that Alpine scale house, they've been super nice. They've never been really busy either, so I can get in and out of there pretty quick. But some of them loads we haul, they get pretty big, and I've had, I'd say, greener DOT officers whip out tape measures. And one lady didn't even want to measure how wide I was. She wanted to know how tall I was. And since she was 5 foot nothing, I was pretty much right at 13.6. Actually, I think I was over 13.6. I think it was closer to 14 feet. It took her a little while to get that tape measure up there and hooked on to measure it. Which, I mean, even if she had measured it over height, I have an over height permit. I can be up to 15 feet high. Come on, what are you doing? You don't have to stop on the interstate. Promise you. Some people. course, I've seen people do that. They'll just be tooling along and hit their brakes for no reason whatsoever. I've also had people pass me and then they hit their brakes to slow down slower than what I was doing. Sorry, car. Which is aggravating as hell. Like, I'm doing the speed limit. If you're going to pass me and continue along at the pace you passed me at. Don't pass me and then slow down to the slower pace than I was doing. Should just stay over here. Go! It's the skinny pedal on the right. I also shouldn't tailgate people like that in a truck. But it's a video game, and I'm not going to hurt anybody if they did stop. Alright, 75, let's go, people. I got green to deliver. $75. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, AI. I believe in you. Now it's 80. Come on. And for the record, I do talk to people even though they can't hear me when I'm driving the truck. Because I would absolutely say that if I was following somebody who wasn't doing the speed limit. Of course, working outside in the yard, my allergies are just really bad today. And I got the horsepower to run 80, so I'm going to run 80. Walmart just hanging out in the left-hand lane. I don't think I'd have any audio of my trip up yesterday yelling at anybody. Oh shit. Well. Come on. Get out of the way. That's what you get for stopping in the travel lane. It's also why I have a no damage mod. Because sometimes I just want to run someone over. So video games are a good stress reliever in that aspect because you couldn't do that in a real truck and get away with it. Because I don't imagine the judge would be too happy if you were standing in court and go, well, why did you run them over? Well, Your Honor, because they were a stupid fucker just stopping in the middle of the travel lane for no reason. Probably throw the book at you. contemplating going and getting fuel, but we only got 90 more miles to go. I don't know if you can put an oversized banner on the front of this truck or not. I forgot to look. Aside from a few quirks, I really like this truck. In fact, someone went through the trouble to put rain caps on an set of exhaust stacks. It's pretty cool to me. As we lived in Missouri when I was a little kid, we kind of lived between the two major routes most trucks took in and out of the concrete plant. And back in the 80s, most mixer trucks were Macs or Fords. So, you know, the old single stack Mac with a rain cap was a pretty common sight. So I kind of fell in love with that at a really young age. So I have rain caps on my pickup. Partly because I really like rain caps because I think they're cool, and partly because you don't see a lot of trucks with rain caps anymore. Which is a shame, because it's fun to sit there to like clang. Always get a kick out of it, because I'll be driving down the road and I'll glance out the window or something, see a little kid pointing at them, or I was driving down Blue Lakes one day and a young man with mental disability, I'm not sure which, but he was quite enthusiastic about my truck just sitting there at stoplights with the rain caps flapping, or when I'd get on it and they'd open up. Swung that wide, didn't I? While my pickup truck isn't the prettiest and isn't done, it still makes me happy when people point at the rain caps as I go by. Might be the most pointless modification on the truck and the cheapest, but we're gonna pass on the double yellow even though we shouldn't. Got shit to do, places to go, deliveries to make, and it's a game. You can actually, in the games menu, turn off traffic offenses, so you won't get a speeding ticket, you won't get fined for an accident, you won't get fined for running the scale house, you won't get fined for crossing on a double yellow line. Rain caps are cool. You won't be able to change my mind. We'll get this unloaded and then we'll see about picking up another load. And And then now that I know how to use the console, we can adjust the time so it's red light. Out in the middle of nowhere. Probably be really rude to rear end a bus in the middle of the night. That's why. I think that's supposed to be people hiking up the side of a mountain, but the one kind of looks like a camel. No, he doesn't. No, it looks like someone crawling, hiking up a mountain. But from afar, kind of look like a camel to me. Yeah, it's a Freightliner. That's another awesome mod that if you're playing ATS, I recommend. Faster gates. As it makes the gates open in an absolute hurry. It's fantastic. Because half the time you'd pull in there and block traffic while you're waiting for the gate to open forever. Definitely a mod worth checking out. It's on Steam. Still sounds like it's raining, but it doesn't look like it's raining. There I finally saw some raindrops. And staying in the left lane, a habit I pretty much picked up from hauling oversized. Since we hang everything off that side of the truck. You never know if somebody's going to pull out of a driveway real far to see around a bush or something. So you don't want to clip them with the load. I also kind of got in the habit of that, doing trash, because you're in the neighborhood all the time. So I usually tried to stay, if I wasn't picking up trash on the street, I'd kind of stay more towards the left of center of my lane, just because you never knew when a kid was going to run out on the road, especially during the summertime. So it's just kind of a habit I've gotten into over the years, just because of what I do. I also do it if I know I'm going to make a left-hand turn. Like, if you're familiar with Twin Falls area, when you get off the interstate and you're heading south into town, it's a couple miles before you hit the bridge. And there's a stoplight just before the bridge, heading south, just about as soon as you get off of it. And I usually have to make a left, not at the first light off the bridge, but up on pole line. So I'll get off the interstate and pretty much get in that left lane as soon as I can, because I know the closer I get to the stoplight, the less likely people are going to be polite and let me over. So if I'm unfamiliar and I know I'm going to make a left-hand turn, I'll get in the left lane as soon as possible and just stay there. It might not be courteous or polite, but it saves me headache. And if people are in that big of a hurry, they can go around me on the right, especially in town. You don't know how close them signs are to the road because not all roads have sidewalks. Let's see, this one, next one. You never know for sure how far out in the out of that driveway people are going to pull. So for what I do and hanging off the side of the trailer, to me, I just think it's better to stay in the left lane. That's pretty much only in town, or if I know left turn's coming up. I am so thankful I got the ceiling fan fixed here in the office, so I can have the fan blowing and it's not sitting there clicking in the background driving me and you crazy. I'm sure all these people live in some place that gets truckloads of grain in probably fairly regularly. Rail yard. BNSF. Well, there's a load of trucks we could take if I didn't have trailers with me. Unload. Come on. There we go. 562 miles, took us 11 hours, 57 minutes, and used up 76.8 gallons of fuel. So we're at level 53 now. We'll see what they got for current offers here. Got potatoes. Who doesn't like potatoes? Casper, Fort Collins, Jackson. Cottonseed. Not much. Let's see if there's something else here we can get. Gillette. Nope. Not a whole lot of anything. What about Casper? A whole lot of nothing. And we got 2 pages at least in Riverton. Well, let's go to trailer manager. Let's see here. We'll park it. Let's see here. We got the drop deck. Prestige. That one's up in Coeur d'Alene. That one's being used. That one's not being used. Well, let's do some trailer shuffling. Or we'll just fast travel up to Coeur d'Alene, hopefully. we'll grab that van trailer, as I haven't really used it all that much. It'd be something a little different too. We'll hook onto the spread axle van trailer. I have it set up with a lift gate. Oh sweet, I'm already hooked up to it, so cool. I got super singles on it, spread axle with the lift gate. Maybe it is 53. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've used it. Let's see what we got here in Coeur d'Alene. Let's see here. Pallets, IBC containers, Bozeman. That might be kind of a fun trip. Not very heavy. Cody, Eureka. Tires, Fort Collins. Waste paper to New Mexico. Containers. Cardboard, containers. I guess we're containers or cardboard. Yeah, let's do that run. We'll do some IBC containers. Oh, hey, we're conveniently right here at a gas station too. We'll fill her up and get going. Fries are done. $139 gallons. Where are we stuck on? I'm glad to see the GPS in the game is also as weird as the GPS in real life. Didn't actually pay attention to where we were going to pick it up. I do enjoy having the trailers paint matched to the tractor. Just looks really cool. Okay, that's kind of interesting setup you got there. That's the one we want. Go ahead and take that. I would skip the loading, but I'm trying to waste time so when we get loaded, maybe it won't be dark for so long. We can drive during the day. And that's not really the case. Let's see here. Now, if you have the console configured so you can use it in the game, you can type in G set time. Let's go ahead and just set it for 6 o'clock. Bam! Now we're not driving in the dark. How handy is that? Just a great looking truck. Let's see here. Looks like we can sneak around this house here on the end. We could have took that flatbed load, but the red trailer would clash with my truck. Well, we should make really short work of this load since it's so light, only 18,000 pounds. See, that's the kind of construction area I go into pretty much all the time. Housing, residential. I don't really have a stop sign, but you do. Jana S made us 27,000. Sweet. And she's leveled up. Here, 90 east. And we got full tank fuel, so full tank fuel, not a super heavy load, so I think we should be alright on fuel. Connections and stuff still look good. Doesn't look like my sound's peaking out too high either, so get off the rumble strips. Kind of mix our scenery up a little bit today. We'll do some high plains, high desert, and now we'll roll through some mountains here in northern Idaho over to Montana. Yeah, we'll set the cruise at 61. We'll be fine. Yeah, except it drops down to 55. Of course. This is the problem with the map being so condensed, is you change speed limits a lot more than you do in real life. Still raining though. I got that set. It'll probably change again. We are picking up, getting a little busier at work, which is nice because I like making money. And since I'm an employee owner, I like the fact the company's making money even better. Franklin Building Supply is an ESOP, so everybody that works there is a shareholder pretty much, or an owner. Yeah, we're in Montana. The speed limit goes up, and everybody else slowed down. That's cool. That sounds about right. Please pull in. It's in the center. Come to a complete stop before driving on the scales. Okay. $53,949. I guess that's if you want to turn around because you couldn't pull in there, or I don't know what. Hog in. Looks like it's a truck stop. Not much else. Napa New. I don't mind the split speed limit when there's only 5 mile an hour difference. Like here, it's 70 for everybody, and then trucks are 65, which, since a lot of trucks are governed at 65, there's not that big of a speed difference between the cars and the trucks. I really can't stand Idaho's split, because you can do 80 in a car, and then, you know, most of the mega carrier trucks are doing 65 or 62. So you're looking at almost a 20 mile an hour speed difference between trucks and everybody else. So I mean, when you're flying down at 80 and you get a truck doing 64 passing a truck doing 63, you come up on them guys fast. Real fast. And say it's for safety, but not seeing it. I don't know how having everybody doing multiple speeds on the same road is safer than just having everybody do the same speed. Lots of things to ponder about when you're driving down the road by yourself. And thankfully, our new guy, he's still doing good. Yeah. Except for a little bit of bullshitting in the morning, we haven't hardly even seen each other. And he called me a couple of times just to double check something. Or he's ran a little late on some days that I've been early. So I'll call him, find out where he's at. If he's not too far out, I'll leave the gates open for him. Or if he's going to be a little while, or 5, 6 o'clock at night, I'll pull one gate closed and leave the other gate open so he can just sneak the truck in and only have to close one gate when he's done. Not fighting, trying to close both gates. Friday, he had a busy day Friday and only beat me back to the yard probably 20 or maybe 30 minutes. So I clocked in at about 6:15, 6:20 Friday morning, and then clocked out at right at 6 o'clock Friday night. So almost 12-hour day. Which wasn't driving for 12 hours because it took them guys a little over an hour to unload me. Figure I was at the port of entry for 15 minutes. The stop at the jet stop was about 15 minutes, so only drove 10 hours. And they didn't ask to see a logbook or anything. All they wanted to know was get a copy of the load manifest and just check to make sure the truck was current on its registration. I wasn't oversized, so they didn't want to check permits, and I didn't have to buy a permit. Which I did buy a permit one time for some roof trusses I took down to Afton, Wyoming. And a day permit in Wyoming was $25. I am still kind of surprised we actually bid for this job just because it is so far out there and diesel is so expensive. Of course, the other reason we might have got the job is we were the only ones who could get to it in a timely fashion. Somebody else might not have been able to get the floors built as fast as we did. So that probably also factored into it a little bit too, who could get the trusses when they needed them. And I'm gonna brag, but my builders kick a lot of ass. Them dudes they're good, they're fast. Very minimal mistakes for my crew. So that makes... And I think that's kind of also goes hand in hand with the employee ownership thing. It's like, they have always had a stake in it. If they don't do a good job, they're going to get fired. But since they're an employee owner, doing a great job helps the entire company out. Keeps work coming in for all of us. Same with when I'm out at job sites and stuff, not swearing, hollering, being polite to the customers when they are there. that reflects positively on the company as a whole, not just myself. So if you've ever wondered why I always seem to be in a positive mood, or unlike the video with the hose clamp on the Mac, I was upset, but I wasn't swearing up a storm. That's because that makes me and the company look bad. So I do. When I'm filming at work, I try to definitely stay on the professional side, because I am representing the company when I'm filming at work. Sneak around you guys like that. And I take pride in my work. I enjoy my job. I enjoy the people I work with. And that makes a hell of a difference, man. If you're working someplace where you can't get along with your coworkers, or you just absolutely hate it, you do yourself a favor and find a better place to work. Everybody's got bills to pay and stuff, but man, I've been in them situations where you hate your job so much you're almost physically ill getting up to go to it. That's no way to live. No way to live at all. So I'm really happy in the position I'm at now. I like my bosses. I respect my bosses. My coworkers are cool. I respect all of them. You know, I could probably go, well, I know I could go somewhere else and make more money, but I'm not guaranteed I'd like my coworkers as much. Or I might not like the hours. I mean, Walmart starts you out, when you hire on at Walmart, they're paying $100,000 a year, but you know, you're gone all the time. You're working holidays, you're working weekends. I don't. Haven't worked a weekend in a long time now, because we've kind of got a good flow going. Oh shit, it's 45 through here. Franklin Building Supplies, the company isn't open on Saturday or Sunday, so that means I don't have to work Saturday or Sunday. And we're closed most major holidays. So I get 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas. So, I mean, yeah, I could go make more money. At the same time, would I have as good a schedule? That's hard to say. Okay, who's honking? Maybe you were? Let's see, are we going to get around you? Probably not. Oh, poor guy jackknifed. Weird. Because that was kind of an eye-opening experience when I first started working. Because I was used to, Dad loved his job. Absolutely was happy to get up and go to work every day because he enjoyed his job so much. And even though Mom's job maybe wasn't always great, she always seemed to work for people she enjoyed working with, or had a good boss or a good environment. So the first time I went to work for some place and the guy was a miserable prick and the coworkers were just worthless sons of bitches, it's like, wait, I didn't understand it. I was like, why am I miserable? I thought, work was supposed to be better than this. That's not the case. Working with people you like, having a boss you can respect or has your back, that goes a long way. And I feel sorry for people who work for miserable pricks. Been there, done that. I feel your pain, because it sucks. They're getting a little wet there, and they're side by side. Mom sent me a text message. Hi, Mom. I had my sound turned off so I didn't hear it. I only just now seen it blinking. Please pull in. Okay. Since you insist and you said please. What are you doing there, truck? Backing into the other truck. Or you're gonna run into the car in front of you. I don't think the AI knows what it needs to be doing right now. What are you doing here, guys? What are we doing? He's in such a hurry, he rear-ended the car in front of him, then he backed up into the truck behind him. That's pretty funny. Come on, traffic light. You don't need to be sitting here all day. Yeah, it's Peterbilt driver. Judging from the black marks, people have come in here a little hot. The vehicle is not in perfect technical thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Apparently we're just going to spend all stream driving in the rain. Which, rain's not so bad, at least it's not dark. Huh. The truck doesn't interact with the road to kick up water spray. That's interesting. So I guess that maybe is two faults with the truck. The steering wheel's really off center and it doesn't kick up road spray. Ooh. Oops. Should have been going a little slower, I guess, for that corner. That's what I get for rubbernecking. Just does not seem like this truck has good Jake brakes. I'm not sure why the game isn't loading those trailers a little sooner. That yellow texture is an error, and then when you get close it turns into the blue tart. That's it. It's a cool set of rapids right there. Waterfall. Haven't been up this way. Those T800s you've seen are a mod, also a mod, and it is free on Steam. I see the tires are showing a little wear. That's probably what they were talking about. That's cool. Not sure where we are. That's a cool little station. Log Hotel. Excuse me. $65, not 20. Now it's 70. Now it's 65. Truck speed limit. 191, we're getting off on 287. Quake Lake. I haven't seen if we've scheduled another dig days yet. The forum's been, the Facebook group's been a little quiet now that it's summertime, so I'm hoping we do get one scheduled because that is a good time. Oh, there's a camera up here. We might have to stop and take a photo. I think we were kind of leaning towards having that in the fall, maybe. Let's see here. That is. Let's see here. We're going to go into camera mode here. Earthquake Lake. Except it doesn't want you to take a picture of the lake. It wants you to take a picture of the visitor center. Let's get a picture of the lake. I think in the last one or two updates they've added some of those scenic photo things. So you get an achievement for taking a photo of something. There's an aircraft carrier in Texas, an oil big crane down in Texas. I think a couple of the various statues are photo opportunities. But I promise there will be some more RC content coming up. Just had some weird hours and really kind of got to get some yard work done here because my wife and I both are kind of sick and tired of some of the stuff in the yard. In fact, we need to do redo the back fence. Probably not going to film doing the back fence because that's just replacing pickets. Where you want it? Back in the back. We got a dozer and a big old loader. Seems a little pointless to be sweeping in the rain. Let's see here. Are we going to get it pulled around enough? for that K-rail. Apparently the dog needed to say hi. She doesn't like it when I stream because I close the office door. $466 miles, took us 13 hours, 14 minutes, burned 63.5 gallons of fuel. We got our proficiency bonus, our long distance delivery bonus, and our urgent delivery bonus. So that brought us from making $11,000 to $21,000. And we got quite a bit more experience points with that. So since I started at 11 and it's a little after 1 now, I should probably end the stream, get some lunch, and looks like we had a few viewers. But that'll do it for this live stream. If you want to see more info on the truck, the link's in the description below. That guy has a couple of truck mods, a trailer mod he's working on. He has a rotator, tow truck body, and it might actually come with the truck, a truck that is built for that rotator. Z-mods, a lot of people on YouTube use Z-mods for all their sounds, so check his site out as well. Hope everyone's having a good weekend, and we'll catch you in the next one. There's my mouse. There's my mouse.